This tutorial addresses using Microsoft Excel 2013 to do a line graph of a set of data. It also includes how to set up your trend line to display on the chart, as well as the trend line equation and the R-squared value. So I already have the data set up in this. We're just looking at cookie sales in dozens for the year 2014. You see each column represents a different month, and then we have values for each month. Now in line charts for Microsoft Excel, be sure that you leave this blank cell in the corner. We have the months going across, and then underneath of that the monthly volume of cookie sales and the year. But this blank cell in A2 is important because then Excel will recognize what your titles and your data are. So once we have that highlighted just from the data and the titles, we can do it from either direction, and then we're going to go to Insert, and then right over here in the middle we see a little icon that looks like a zigzaggy line, and that is our Insert Line Chart. When you open that, you can have different choices whether you want to have markers on the line or just the plain line. We'll do it with markers for this example. It immediately creates the chart for you so you can see what it's working with. We're not too surprised at what it looks like as we have the data right above. If you click on the title, then you can update that. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up while I'm here. If you click anywhere on the chart, these new options come up on the side. The plus sign is what we're going to look at because these are the chart elements. And when you click on that, you can tell it you do want to use access titles, and those then appear. And then you can type in what you really want, which this is going to be cookie sales. And I'll note that that is in dozens. I'll delete off the rest. Now down here at the bottom, the horizontal axis, we wouldn't really have to put anything since it's fairly obvious that that's months, but just to be consistent, we'll do both of our axis titles and the cookie sales. Now the other item that we wanted to add in here was a trend line because we see our cookie sales vary month to month. So what we're going to do is go back to this plus sign again. I'm going to go down here to trend line, and we'll turn it on, and then we'll choose the drop down for that for more options. And more options is going to open this window, and we can see our trend line has already been inserted as a dotted line, but right down here we can tell it to show the equation and the R-squared. Now if you remember from your statistics, the equation of a straight line is y equals mx plus b, and that's what we see. We see a negative slope of negative 3.2308, so it's going down by negative 3.2308 each month, and the y-intercept is 641, which would be right about there. So that sounds right. Our R-squared is 0.0316. Remember, R-squared is a measure of how well the linear line that was created fits the data, and we see that there's lots of gaps between the actual points and the data, so our R-squared is 0.03 or 3%, so our line only explains 3% of the variability that we see in demand. So time is not the complete driver, but at least we have a measure of R-squared and we know the equation of the line. So I'm going to leave it go at that, give that a try.